Welcome to yet another video on Python. In this video, we're going to talk about Python data frame joins. Now, joins are another jo now, jo now joins are another way to combine two or more data frames, and each of the join methods, like the other ways to combine data frames, for example, join, concat, and merge, they have their own use cases or application, right? So let's explore this in detail. So let's talk about the generic concept of joins. So when we have two data sets and we join them on the common column, if I may give an example, then this would lead to an inner join, like you see this blue area. If you take two data sets and then if you join them completely, as in everything from the left side, right side, and the common part, then it becomes the outer join. If we take only the left part and the common part, then it becomes the left join. And finally, we have the right join. So based on how we are combining, our joins will uh, be used, right? This is how a typical join statement looks in Python. So you'll say data frame 1 dot join data frame 2 comma on. So on which column you want to join, how the different types of how, like left join, right join, inner, outer, the one we just discussed in the last slide. L suffix and R suffix are basically to tell Python that if there are common columns, let's say there's a B column in data frame 1 and B column in data frame 2 also, then if you are joining both of these together, these two data frames, then Python would not know which B is coming from where, and it will throw an error. Then you need the left suffix and right suffix to differentiate between the columns. Same column name coming from two different data frames, and then sort. So join is basically a type of so before we go into join, let me give you one interesting fact. So join you can think of as a simplified version of merge. I mean, for people who are just getting used to it, it can be best understood in this way. The default behavior of join is based on index of one data frame with the index of other data frame. So in case you want to join two data sets on respective indices, then join is a good place to start with. For more complicated ones where you want to join one on index and other on the column or their other combinations, then maybe you would also want to explore the merge of data frame or the merging of data frame, which we will cover in next video. For join on specific columns other than index, you either need to you have two options. You either convert required column to an index or use on an index of other data frame. So basically, what it means is, if you take this example, and if you want to join on this I1 and I2, then it is straightforward. But if you want to join one on this column and another on this column, then for this one you need to first convert it into an index column. Basically, then in this data frame, the index changes from I2 to C3. We'll cover that. So let's go back to the point. So these were the two methods in which you can join if you want to join on a column other than index. So if you're joining on column I1 and I2, which are basically index columns in respective data frames, then you will say df1 to the new data frame is equal to df1 dot join df2 L suffix right R suffix, right? So basically we are saying take this data frame which has index I1 column and join it with other index the other data frame which has index I2, and then we get the final output like this, right? Now you note that this kind of join has a default property of using the left join, right? So basically take this one as the default index. So in this case we're getting the output like this, and you also note the suffixes over here because C1 is in both the columns, sorry, in both the data frames, so it is getting a suffix. If we don't provide the suffix, it will throw an error. Now you can also use join on columns. So if you want to join on column I1 and I2 which are not index of respective data frames, then you will say df12 is equal to df1 dot set index I1 dot join df2 set index I2. Set index basically converts this column into the index column, and then obviously L suffix and right suffix uh, as suggested before. So if you see this example over here, initially these I1 and I2 are not indexed, right? So these are not index of the data frames. So hence we first convert them into index using the set index command, and then we get the output like this, right? So I mean, if you want to use column other than index, then you have to use set index to convert them into index, because join uses the indices to join the data frames. And then you can use data frame join on column using on. So like we discussed, data frame 1 and data frame 2, we are setting the I1 and I2 column as indexes. That was one method when we want to join on non-index columns. Other method is keep one of the data frame as is and convert the second one, which is inside the join bracket, convert the I2 column or the column which you want to join on uh, by using set index method, and then use on this, right? So this way what happens is it join on I1, right, and it also converts the other data frames I2 column into index. So df1, we are not changing the index, we are changing the index for df2, right? We'll show this in the example also so that you have more clarity on this. So take this example, we have this first data frame and the second data frame. If we join them together, then we get the output like this, right? So this way we have the join using the on keyword. So let's discuss the join using a Python coding window. So over here we are first importing the pandas library. I mean, we need it to use to create the data frame, and then we create two data frames, left and right, using the dictionary over here. So let's run this first to show what we are getting under our data frames. So we are getting two data frames. We have intentionally named them left and right. So these are the left and the right data frame. And now if we try to join them like this, left dot join right, so this will give you an error. Let's first run this and then we'll see why the error is coming up. So if we run this, it says column overlap but no suffix specified, because in this case we have column A and B and column B and D, and we're trying to join it. The default join is on the index, and that is also left join. So basically take this index and then join on this, right? So that's the default property. So if you're not specifying a suffix for column B, which is called common here, like B and B over here, then it will throw an error. So basically what we need to do is we will, in this specific case, we will use the L suffix and the right suffix. I'm using underscore L and underscore R so that these get added at the end of the column name B, right? If there was no common column, then this would have worked. This code would have worked. But right now, since we have a common column, we need to specify the suffix, and now it works, right? And if you want to see, the output, the resulting join is like this, where we have this suffix underscore L underscore R coming here, right? So this way we can join the two, data frames. We can also use left join, right L suffix R suffix, and how is equal to outer. So default is, like I said, left. When you don't specify how, the default how would be left, right? But if you say outer and if you try to run it, so this will give me an outer join, right? So I get something like this. Now in this case, because all the rows are same, so we are getting the same result. But had there been, let's add one extra row here, just to demonstrate it. So in right, if we just add one more column, so we have added a new column here, E, and now if I just run this again, because I've updated it, and left is already there. Now if I join on outer, right, and if I run it, so you see left join outer, and this time it is taking everything, all the columns, right, D, and because E was the new column in the right, because right has already changed here. So if you see this, so you have A and B left, B right, this one, D and E. So it is outer, right? And if you do the same, using the same data frame, if you use the default, which is inner, so the output would be, resulting join would be like this, right? Let's make one more change. Over here, I'm adding to the left data frame, I'm adding another value to B, which is B3, and also to A, I'm adding A3. And now if I try to run this code, right, and try to use the both outer and inner, let's see how it behaves. So inner is this and outer is this. So you can very well relate that because our left and the right data frame, let me just keep it side by side, in the right data frame. So you see this has 0, 1, 2, 3, and this has a 0, 1, 2. So left and the right data frame. So if I use inner join, it takes the common one, 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2 is the common, 3 is missing here, right? And if I take outer join, so it takes everything, right? So that's why it takes 0, 1, 2 from here, 0, 1, 2, and 3 also from here. So I get this outer join. So pretty straightforward, common sensical. So this is how your joins work, right? Then you can also use the on keyword, right? So if I say result join inner on, and I say left join right, everything same, just I'm passing on is A, so I'm trying to combine on A. If I run this, so there is an error that comes up, right? To simplify this, if I say, if I use this one, see this, left dot join right on B. So we have left data frame, right data frame, common B column. If I run this, it again shows the same error, right? Now the reason is, like I said before, that join uses the index columns to join, right? Now because of that, we have this kind of issue coming. So just in simple words, if you're joining it this way, so you have to note that when you use left join right, this uses index of right data frame, right? So this right data frame, index of this will be used, but for the left data frame, either the index or other column can be used. So let's try to see what's happening here. So if I say left dot join right, and if I want to join on B, which means take the B column of right data frame and join it with the B of left, then you need to set B as the index of this column right, which is inside the join. So whichever column data frame, sorry, you're specifying inside join, and if you're using on a column, then that column needs to be set as the index. So now if I run it like this, you'll see that it will run well and there is no error, right? So be very careful how you use the join. So with that note, we come to end of the join in Python. The various variations of this, a multitude of variations, but to keep things simple, we're just sticking around with the basic framework of join. So if you like our video, please subscribe, comment, and share it. And we'll be back with more videos